Cancel.
Schweezy.
Oh, shit, dude. Okay. Show called Our Doctor on Netflix. It's a documentary. I think it's a couple episodes, or no, I think it's one whole fucking shit, dude. So let me read. This is from Wikipedia. This is the Wikipedia bio for it. And you're like, how am I going to describe it? I'll just read the fucking Wikipedia. I'm like, I don't give a shit. That's the problem with beer, though. I just burp a lot. This is from, so basically the Wikipedia bio. Our Father is an American Netflix original documentary film directed by Lucy Jordan and produced by Michael Petrella and Jason Blum. Its story follows former Indianapolis-based fertility doctor Donald Cline, who, in a case of fertility fraud, used his own sperm to impregnate dozens of unsuspecting patients. The film was released on May 11, 2022. The film was watched for 42.60 million hours between May 8th and May 29th, 2022 globally. So I heard about this, and so, I think it was on Bad Friends I listened to. They were talking about, Andrew Santino was talking about it, and then, so I Googled it, because this shit interests me. And so, I Googled it, and the only thing I found, I just Googled fertility doctor who used his own sperm, that's what I used. And then I found, it was a Fubo documentary, and look, nothing against Fubo, but there's a lot of mental strength you have to go to the Fubo app. A lot of shit. A lot of shit has to go through your brain. You're and I'm already paying for too many streaming services when I just lay around all day looking at TikToks, what am I doing with my life? Why am I paying for streaming services when I sit on TikTok all day? Life is full of mysteries, Fucking like an episode of Friends here. Just fucking hitting the laugh track. So that's what I Googled, and so when I saw the documentary on Netflix, I'm like, oh, this must be new. And then I saw it was May 8th. That's when it came out. Okay, so I guess Andrew Santino was talking about it recently, and so that fucking was a trip for me to find out. So you hear this. So to sum up the bio, I just said this fertility doctor, instead of using a sperm donor, which would be what you do in that job, or there's different situations. So there's one where it's always a husband and wife or two partners. They weren't gay. It's Indiana. Well, just being honest with you, it's in Indiana. I'm just saying, I know there's gay people in Indiana, but I'm just saying that that's not the place you want to live if you're gay. That's just a lie. That's just a life. So there were always men and women, I'm assuming, and most of them were married. So sometimes the man, he has a low sperm count, so therefore he can't get her pregnant, so they get a sperm donor. Sometimes, just for science reasons, both of the egg count's good, the sperm count's good, just somehow when they pump it into each other, it's just no eggs are getting fertilized. And so that's where you go to a fertility doctor, and then he would use his sperm and scientifically, or a doctor would, get the sperm to fertilize an egg properly. It's just more, sometimes, I don't know, and to be honest with you, you'd be do you know how a vagina works? And I'm yes, kind of, but I don't know how to, whole fucking getting women pregnant. I've never done that, because I'm fucking responsible. So that's it. So I bet you're guessing, how many kids did this end up guy having? He has some kids of his own. I think he had 3 kids of his own, if I'm not mistaken. He could have others. Obviously don't use this as a factual story. Imagine someone fucking writing a fucking document, fucking writing term papers, and then fucking using me as a source. Could you fucking believe that shit? So not including the kids he, the kids he had with his wife. This dude ended up basically has 94 children. 94. And it was funny, and this part made me laugh my fucking ass off. Because this all started, basically, it all started with a couple people. They were doing a 23andMe DNA test, stuff like that. And like some of these kids knew, like, hey, we use a sperm donor. They're like, okay, I'm interested because, like, you know, if you not the fact that, like, you know, like you could be an adopted kid and, you know, but it's like good because I think 23andMe does like a lot of health stats, you know, like if your family has a history of like some cancer or some other problems, which let's be honest, Donald Cline had some health problems that he shouldn't have been passing down to a lot of people. It's just to be honest with you, but like that's what 23andMe. So like these people were like going on 23andMe, and you know when you go on 23andMe, you like not expecting to find a ton of people who are technically your siblings. And so, like, they had to do this research, and, like, they all found, like, one mutual source or whatever, and, like, they give all the last names of people in the family, and they found, like, Dr. Donald Cline's, like, wife's maiden name. It was like, oh, what about Cline? He's like, oh, yeah, she married this guy named Donald Cline. And then, like, they all, like, consider him, like, I think this guy's our biological father. And so it started, like, it was, like, under 10 or something like that. And so they confronted Donald Cline, and he was like, there's definitely not any more than 10. And then they go, like, go to the fucking documentary. They're like, child number 12 or something like that. I'm just laughing. Then they, like, confront him again. They all have a meeting, and he's, like, Donald Cline's trying to get, like, scientific data off of it, like, as if this is, like, an experiment for him.
What?
He's like, well, there's definitely not more than 15. And it's like, child number 20. I'm just like, Jesus, dude. He's like, well, I did this for 30 years. Like, he did this for 30 years, and I did it sparingly. I'm like, so I mean, like, this dude ain't even Mormon. Like, I watched the Mormon documentary. He's like, Speak Sweet or something like that, I can't remember what it was called. I'm not going to talk about it on the show. Talk too much about Mormons on this show. But like, he's just like, I definitely don't have any more than 15. Child number 20. And so like, all these people are like, just some person, like their parents just went to a random fucking fertility clinic in Indiana. And they're like, I'm gonna do 23andMe. Just, you know, I'm white. I want to see where my white ancestors came from. I don't see a lot of black people doing those. We're like, what tribe in Africa did I come from? There's a lot of messed up history there, folks. Don't. I'm not just, no, there's a lot of fucked up shit going on there. And so, like, you know, like you go on, 23andMe, yeah. They use like a saliva sample, right? They're not fucking asking they're not asking for jizz samples. Why the first thing came to mind is like jizz samples? No, they like swab your mouth or whatever, right? I think that's what they do. And they, they get everything back, and then like these people are finding out like he has a total of 94 children, so like more and more keep popping up, and so you're like, huh? Like usually when you do a 23andMe, you're not going in there. You're like, huh? I have 93 siblings, and then you get a message from this chick who'd be like, yep, your mom went to a fertility doctor who used his own sperm. So your biological dad, well, the guy you thought was your biological dad, is not your biological dad. And for a second though, I'm like, women don't get this because the baby pops out of them. But like I think we had a question a couple weeks ago, a very long time ago on TheSchweezy, that was like a woman's like, when a man finds out the baby isn't his, why does he leave? And it's like, doesn't he care for the kid? I'm like, well, I mean, like, he feels duped and betrayed, and there's shit like all that shit, like, I can't, like, it's for the kids. I mean, it's rough. Obviously, you find out your fucking biological father's a monster. Then it was like these guys are just like, man, I love that kid. It's not mine. Like, you love that kid and shit like that. So it's some fucking. There's a lot of sad shit. I did ask my mom, be like, hey mom, you didn't go to a fertility clinic from in Indianapolis, did you? And she said no. I'm like, good. So I'm related to my dead dad. I won't take a drink if you know what's up. But anyways though, okay, so they kind of went over this, but they didn't. Before I end it and move on to our next thing, but like, he always quoted verses that made him like part of this like Christian cult, which I mean, Christianity is kind of a cult already, but it's called like Quiverful, It's like, so here's what Wikipedia says about that. Quiverful is a Christian theological position that sees large families as a blessing from God. It encourages procreation, abstaining from all forms of birth control, as well as natural family planning and sterilization. Some sources have referred to the Quiverful position as providentialism, while other sources have simply referred to it as manifestation of natalism. It is most widespread in the United States, but it is also has adherents in Canada, Australia, New Zealand, and the United Kingdom, along with other places. One 2006 estimate put the number of families which subscribe to the philosophy is ranging from the thousands to the low tens of thousands. But like, let's see, and like this dude had Bible verses all over his office and shit like that. That's a red. I'm telling you right now. Even if you believe in God, and and you follow the Christian shit, I'm just saying though, don't go to medical professionals, because I went to a Christian therapist for my mental health, and it probably set me back a couple more years than I needed to be in my whole mental health thing. And it's okay if your doctor believes in that, but they should have a clear separation between the two. And this dude had that shit in his office. Don't go to a doctor if they're like, I'm super Christian. I'm like, yeah, I'm super Christian, Oh, so it looks like you're pregnant with the baby. And it's like, God brings miracles to all of us. I'm like, okay, I'm getting a new doctor right fucking now, because that is a red flag. A doctor who is very open about his religious beliefs during doctor time is a red flag. But this dude, kind of like Aryan, I put Aryan Union, is that the right thing? The Aryan race or whatever, like that buffoon Hitler, he wanted the fucking Aryan, he wanted all the people to be white and shit like that. So there's like white, it's like white nationalism shit in there. That's ugh, dude. And this dude, Ed Asner. I think this dude's worse than the Ed Asner guy. He looks worse than him. So, anyways, though, my best advice. Don't go to Christian doctors. That's one lesson. The second lesson is anyone listening to this show, if your parents possibly went to a fertility doctor in Indianapolis, and if you're like, I don't want to live in ignorance, you may need to do a DNA test, because he might be related to this knucklehead. He's this goofball over here. Yeah, and for all the fertility doctors listening out there, I know all of you are listening, do not use your own sperm and do this shit. That's bad. They figure out 40 plus other doctors have done this shit too. This makes me a little concerned about the whole fertility profession. It makes me a little scared. So let's just not do that anymore, okay? Let's just, let's cut that shit out. I think that's going to be a good thing for all of us to do, okay? Hey there, you just checked out a highlight from Cancel Schweezy. Thank you very much. I'm glad that you learned something and that you are now a smarter individual. Just so you know, we have full episodes and other many highlights available now. Click here for the next best thing that you can go check out as well. And make sure you press that subscribe button and press that notification bell. That way you get updated anytime we make a new post or anytime that we make a new highlight or full episode. So thank you, honk if you love butt drugs, and stay awesome.